Hello, and welcome to Reginaldesq. I'm Underhook, and this is my review of the German Tier 5 SPG, the Grille, or Grille. So, is it any good? Yeah, it's pretty good.
Yes, it is pretty good. Better, I think, than the American M41, for example, and probably better than the British one as well. I haven't driven the other, so I can't say. So what's good about it? Well, it's unusual. I think it's unusual anyway. It has a maximum range of about 700 meters, which is quite different from, say, normally we're used to tanks like the Bishop, which has a maximum range of 500 meters, and some of the earlier German ones had that 500 meter range as well, where you have to be pretty close. You have to move up and find spots to hide pretty close, but you have an excellent, really high gun arc. Then you have tanks like the M41 at Tier 5 that have a very low gun arc, and you really need to go in the back corner of a map or get as high up as possible so that you can actually hit some tanks, because you want to be, usually in SPG, at close to your maximum range, because that way you're getting your highest possible gun arc and you can hit tanks that are close to buildings and rocks, for example. It took me a while to get used to where to go in the Grille, because with the 700 meter view range being a little bit unusual, you've got to get used to where is the camouflage at that sort of range, or where can I go that I won't get spotted. It takes a while to work out, but once you work it out, the tank's pretty good because it does have reasonable accuracy, has a reasonably good gun arc, and you don't have to be as close as you do in, say, something like the Bishop. I quite enjoyed playing this tank and did okay in it. I have a gun rammer fitted, a gun laying drive fitted, which are basically essential equipment for any SPG. I also have a camouflage net fitted because I couldn't think of anything better to put in it. Small repair kit, large repair kit, and large first aid kit fitted. My crew is 100% trained, and they're all working on Brothers in Arms. They're currently just hit 90%, so that won't be affecting the gameplay that you see at all. We'll go into Tanks GG now and just compare it to the other tanks. I'm not going to look at the armour because it's got about 15 mils all round, which is obviously like having no armour at all. Here we are on Tanks GG. On the left I have the Grille, the tank we're looking at today. Then I have the M41, the SU-122A, then the Bishop AMX because they're sort of similar to each other. And then I have this premium one. I don't normally include premiums, but there's only one, so I thought I'd throw it in. At first glance it seems to be way overpowered. I don't know if it is or not, but 2,600 DPM with 53 millimeters of penetration. The best of the others is 38. Yeah. Not pay to win at all, that one. Anyway, it's much worse in practice than it is on paper. I hope so. So anyway, the Grille, 38 millimeters of penetration, 540 average damage. Very similar to the M41, which has the same pen, but 10 more millimeters of damage. Now, when you consider that the Grille has a high gun arc and the M41 does not, meaning that the Grille can hit a lot more targets than the M41 can, straight away, that means the Grille is better than the M41. Unless we find something else in this little comparison that shows the Grille is weaker, straight away that means it's better. The Russian tank has 600, which is the highest of the actual damage with the same amount of pen, so it's going to do more damage on average per shot, but it definitely has some certain disadvantages, especially its rate of fire. The Bishop and the AMX, I know the Bishop has a very high gun arc, and I'm not sure, I don't think the AMX does. So, but anyway, they both have low pen, 28 and 30, and low damage as well. They both also, though, have a very high rate of fire, nearly twice as fast as the rest of us, and so that enables them to get a lot of shots on. They do also have a very small splash radius, only around 2 meters. This premium one does as well, which means they pretty much actually have to hit a tank to do any damage. So they have very high rate of fire, low damage, but they have to actually hit. This premium one, though, has an incredible rate of fire, 6.45. That's nearly 3 times as fast as some of these others. That seems quite bizarre, but anyway. Explosion radius is 7 meters on these 3 here, which is pretty good. As I said, the others are all around a 2 meter mark when you actually have to hit. These ones here, you can actually splash people. Shell velocity, well, it's 355 in the Grille. I think the Grille is unique in that it has a maximum range of around about 700 meters. Don't pay attention to this max range 10,000 thing here. I don't think they've put the ranges in on Tanks GG for some reason. It's about 700 metres on this tank, whereas the M41, it's about 1,000 metres. So the M41 has a low gun arc, and you can see here the 430 shell velocity. Ours is only 355. Remember, the slower shell velocity means it has to take a higher arc. So our shells have to travel higher, which means we get a better arc, but we don't get the range. So it does have a much better gun arc than the M41, and you can hit more tanks. It just means you have to get into some unusual positions. I did have trouble. I'm used to the Bishop, for example, with a shell velocity of 270, only has 500 metres range, and you have to get pretty close. I'm used to those sort of tanks, and I'm used to the ones that, you know, have a 1 kilometre or more range. We have to get in the back corner. But I wasn't used to a 700 metre range for it. I don't think I've ever driven a tank with that sort of range, and I had trouble at first finding places to hide at that range. After a while you get used to it and it's alright, but that is a bit of a learning curve. But once you get used to it, it's pretty handy. The AMX here has 435, so that's going to be a low trajectory, a high trajectory, sorry, yeah, low trajectory as well, and this premium one looks fairly low too. So as far as if you want to get shots on people, the Grille and the Bishop are probably the best ones at this tier, but the Bishop you have to take more risks because you have to get closer. Ammo capacity of 30 is ample. I found it to be ample anyway. Aiming time of 6 seconds to get 60% aim. So in other words, it's about a 10.5, 11 second aiming time compared to about a 13 second aiming time on these tanks. So the aiming time is pretty good when you compare it to the M41 issue 2. Another thing making it better than the M41 that I reviewed not that long ago. The Bishop and these other three all have a very fast aiming time in comparison. So only taking around about 8 to 9 seconds to fully aim, which is a big advantage. They're also quite a bit more accurate than these tanks, although out of these ones here, we are the most accurate according to dispersion figures, which are dubious at best. Also, the amount of accuracy we lose, or the amount of dispersion we get on moving our tank or traversing our tracks, is far better than the American M41. Of course, nowhere near as good as these other faster firing ones, but we're sort of an in-between tank, I guess, in that respect. Gun depression of 3 degrees is enough to enable you to defend yourself like a tank destroyer. However, we only have 5 degrees traverse either side, which means we do have to move our tracks fairly often. That is where the M41 does have a little bit of an advantage. It's not a big advantage, but it's a little bit. Forward speed of 42 kilometers an hour. It is a bit slowish, especially compared to the M41, and we've got 60 on the AMX. So, but 42 is fast enough to get into position quickly enough. It's not too bad. The rest of the position here, to see the terrain resistance and things are pretty good in this tank. They're pretty poor on the M41. There you go. Armour, well, it doesn't have any. The only one that has any real armour at this tier is the, this premium one has 60 and 60. The Bishop has armour on the top half, but the bottom half has none. So, health, 240 hit points, which is pretty good. The Bishop has 350, which is because of its having to get so close to the front line. They give it some more hit points, but 240 is not bad. View range of 260 is, awful, but it is, of course, an SPG, and it's amongst the best. This premium one has a 390 meter view range. What the heck? Oh, geez, Wargaming, what are you doing? Anyway, there you go. Alright, so we're tier 5, it's a tier 7 game, and we are on Mountain Pass. This is, I've got everyone's names there, we know what names and what tanks, I wish they wouldn't do that. There you go. This is the perfect map, really, for the Grille, because, especially if you're on the south side like this, because I can get up the top of this hill, and pretty much still be able to hit anywhere on the map as far as range is concerned. So range is not a problem, but I'm high up and I have a really good gun arc, so it's a perfect. It's like this tank was made for this map. The reason I'm showing you this game is because this is the game I did the most damage ever in this tank. So I'm getting up to a position here. You can see the FV304, which has used to always have maximum range about 500 or 600 meters. It's taken up a similar position. If you get too close to the edge, you can be spotted by scouts. So, all right, so we'll see if we can get a shot on this guy. Well, we did get an opportunity. He's dead already. This VK3001P, a great German medium tank. I really enjoyed driving that tank. We get a shot off, and we do pretty good. 198 damage. Good start. That is a fairly well armoured medium, so that was good damage. Now, if you're wondering why, because I had a game recently where I blew up a one of those new Italian mediums. He was almost dead, and I just shot him to finish him off. And he said, "Oh, yeah, why are you shooting at me? You should be shooting." He actually contacted me after the game and said that I should have been, shooting the heavy tanks on his team, not him. And I thought, well, I only fired one shot at you. It was because you're in low health, and I hit the IS-7 3 times for a total of 169 damage. And that's why artillery doesn't shoot heavy tanks very much, because a lot of the time you just don't do any damage to them. Oh, I love it when tanks bunch up. And the KV-1 caught fire. Fantastic. That was an awesome hit. So you can see here, this is a really good tank for hitting those sort of places where tanks think they're kind of semi-sheltered, if they're sort of partly around the corner up the top there, but this thing can still hit them. The only trouble is once they start going down the hill, and that's why I let the shell go before fully aiming there, because I knew, as you can see here, as soon as it gets any further down the hill, I wouldn't have been able to fire. So I just had to fire at it when I did, and we managed to get a bit of damage, so that was okay. So yeah, it's just now with this stun mechanic, with the lower damage, or the low penetration it really is, that the tanks have, that's why they tend to fire at tanks that are easy to get damage on, basically, like this Hellcat here. Or the Chi-Ri would be easy as well. Not sure which one to go for. The Hellcat looks like he's taking shelter behind the rock, so we're going to go for the Chi-Ri. Oops, thought he was going to get more forward. Let the shell go. Wasn't fully aimed, but we still got it in. 137 damage is not too bad. So pay attention to how much damage I've done at the end of the game here, because I do get some shots that we don't know whether they hit or not. I'm going to take a chance on this Chi-Ri. I'll let a shell go. I don't know whether that shell hits or not. I decided to pay attention to KV-3. Now, KV-3 is a pretty well-armoured, I think it's actually a Russian medium tank, but it's a really well-armoured medium. I think that's what it is. Well, it could be a heavy. I think it's just a well-armoured medium. Anyway, it's a very well-armoured tank. So let's see how we go with this. Now, let that go. Admittedly, I'm probably going to hit the front of it. And it's a direct hit. Don't know how much damage we did. We'll see if it popped up again. Someone else has just shot at it as well. We don't know if they pinned or not. And it's on 56%. I forgot to look how much it was on before. So I'm trying to aim now at its engine deck, since that's probably the only chance I've got of penetrating this tank at all. We end up hitting the side, only 66 damage. So right there, folks, is why artillery shoot at lightly armoured tanks. The only time you can really do much to a heavy is if you hit the engine deck or the rear of the tank, like this guy. If he's a heavy tank and I hit him in the back, I could probably do a bit of damage. Ah, oh, darn. Well, our shot was a direct hit there, but we kind of wasted it. As you can see, the tank has a pretty good rate of fire, so it's not too frustrating to play. You can take speculative shots. You can go, okay, well, I think he's there, like that one. I think he's there, so let's go let the shot go. And direct hit, we finish him off. Whereas at the higher tiers, like I'm currently just started playing the American tier 8. I think it's tier 8 artillery. And it has a long aim time, especially because my tank's stock. I think got about a 45-second load time. And it just can't take speculative shots. You can't risk it. And we hit him again with a direct hit. He didn't have a lot of health, and he's still alive. And someone else just shot him, and he's still alive. So doesn't look like we're doing much damage to the KV-3 at all. So I'm hoping we get to see one of these tanks up here. We must have destroyed the track on a KV-3 because we just got a bit of assistance damage there. So I'm pre-aiming here, and oh, look at this, M41 appeared basically right under my gun. Let the shot go. 224. So we know that the M41 artillery, the tier 5 American artillery, has almost no armor, and we still didn't penetrate it. That was a direct hit. We did 241 damage. So that's why people aim for lowly armored tanks. Alright, I'm assuming this Panzer IV might be up on the hill here, so I'm pre-aiming him, but no, he's around here. And if he comes out, I might get a shot at him. I can't hit him where he currently is. And he's stopped. So we're not going to get a shot. Now, if you have a look on the screen, I've done 1,205 damage that we know of. So let's see on the stats now how much damage we actually did, because we did get some hits off screen. That was a Class 1 game in the tank, and we got a Confederate medal because we hit lots of tanks. We ended up with 1,822 damage, which is the most damage I ever did in this tank. Now, I should say, my crew was actually only 97% trained in that game, just so you know. Yep, next screen. We fired 13 shots, 7 of them were direct hits. That's unusual. And 4 splash damage. Normally in this tank, it's kind of the other way around. You might get 4 direct hits and 7 splashes. So we were particularly lucky. And we did get that one where we set that tank on fire, which helped us get the 1,822 damage. We damaged 7 vehicles, destroying one of them. Got a little bit of assistance when we tracked that KV-3, 95 points of assistance. And we did 74 seconds of stun, which is quite a bit, but only 189 people damaged the tanks we stunned. And we did 10 stuns. So that was a bit unfortunate that, because we did quite a bit of stunning there, but we just didn't, no one was doing damage to them. And that probably explains why 953 XP, and it was only a Class 1, so it is obviously hard to get mastery in this tank, but I think we didn't get mastery because we simply weren't getting tanks shooting the tanks we stunned. And, yeah, that's life. So the map is Malinovka. This time, we are mid-tier. It's a tier 6 game, so we actually have some tier 4s to shoot at, so we might do some pretty big damage to a tier 4 if we can hit one. Now, Malinovka is a bigger map and does actually suit the longer range guns a fair bit more. And there's not really any good places for the Grille to hide as far as being this 700 meter gun. So, we're going to have a shot at Matilda here. Let's see how we go. Waiting for the gun to aim in. Letting people know that I'm shooting it. I do that so any scouts who are scouting the tank will continue to scout it for me. We hit the top deck doing 237 damage, top rear deck, so that was a pretty good shot. Yeah, so if you hit the T button directly on a tank, it'll have a little arrows it'll come down on to show that you're targeting that tank. Or if you hit it on the ground next to the tank, it just does these big circles to show that you're going to hit that area. I usually just move off the tank and do it. On that case, I did it on the tank. Just because it's more obvious when you do it on the ground, and I do it to let any scouts know or whoever spotted the tank know that I'm about to shoot. So if I lose spot and it goes away again, hopefully they'll respot it knowing that they'll get the spotting damage for it. So it's a way of, I guess, working with your team. Oh, we hit him. The shot missed a little bit, but actually ended up hitting the tank for 302. Nice shot. It's great when tanks group together like that. So we're not at our maximum, but we're getting close to maximum range. So we have quite a small zone here, you can see. So we're pretty much, whatever we aimed at, we're pretty much at the moment guaranteed to hit it. Oh, 571 damage to T-3485. A very good tier 6 medium. So that's going to help our team a lot. He's now destroyed. We've got 2 tanks bunched together here. Can we get a double hit? We've already done over 1,000 damage. Okay, I'm going to go for this guy because we might get the kill here. No, all we got was some stun on that guy. That guy just got destroyed. Our team is doing very well. Looks like we're going to get a win here if things keep going this way. I'm aiming for the engine deck. Since we're getting good accuracy here, I might as well aim for what I want to hit. Didn't hit the engine deck, we hit the side of the tank, only doing 151. Now this Hetzer he got spotted, but probably doesn't have 6th sense because he stayed there. Letting my team know that I'm shooting at, so if they want to respot it, they can. But I'm just going to take the shot, because if he's still there, like I think he is, no, he might have moved. We didn't get a direct hit. We may have got some damage, but we're on 1,200 damage so far, so we're having a good game. Now, my win ratio on this tank is 54%, which is exactly the same as it was in the M41. That was 54 as well. But my damage ratio on this tank is 5.46, whereas there's only 3.63 in the M41. And my destruction ratio on this tank is 1.59, and it was only 1.3 in the M41. So I feel that this is a much better tank than the M41. I'm comparing it to the M41 because it was a tank I reviewed fairly recently. So this tank appears to be more adaptable. However, we're about to see the weakness of this tank, and this is it right now. On these maps that are big maps, we have to really, now that it's getting towards the end game, I have to move forward. The tank's not super fast. It's alright, but it's not super fast. And really, well, I've got a lot of tanks left on my team, not many on the enemy team. Am I going to get within range before my team kills everything? And that's the challenge in this tank. Like, look how slow we're going, especially uphill and stuff. The crew is 100% trained now, so it's nothing to do with the crew or anything like that. It's just really difficult at the end of the game to get shots in. And that's the weakness here. So I think it's a much better tank than the M41 for everything except perhaps the end game. The end game might be where the M41 has an advantage. And I probably couldn't have moved up any sooner, because having moved up sooner, then that Hetzer and those sort of tank destroyers would have spotted me and destroyed me. So now I'm panicking because I see so many tanks driving towards it that I decide I'm going to have to fire without fully aiming. I can see the enemy artillery's been spotted, but he's way out of range for me at the moment, so I'm not even going to bother trying to get him. The other guy has gone now from, he's no longer spotted, so now I'm aiming at this guy, waiting for the reload. Now he disappears off the map, so I move. Now this Hetzer's been spotted, but now he's nearly dead. I'll think, okay, we'll go for the T-67 instead. He's got some health, but now he's moving really quick. So I'm moving around. I just decide, out of frustration, I'm going to have to let a shell go pretty soon. So where am I going? The other guy's protected by the rock. I let one go at the Hetzer, and we miss. And yeah, and that's I probably played this badly, but it is tough, the end game in this tank. Anyway, I'm going to put you out of misery. I'm going to speed it up because I don't think I actually hit anything else. So we've got 1400 damage on screen. Yeah, we didn't hit anything else. End of the game. That was a high caliber game, and it was the game that got me my Mark of Excellence in the tank. We did 1602 damage, so a couple of hundred damage we didn't see. Not bad. We got the second highest XP on our team, which is 708 XP we earned. So very hard to get muster in this tank. You have to get a lot of damage. So I didn't manage it. Direct hits 5, splash damage 4. That's probably fairly average. But I think because some of the tanks were tier 4 is why our damage was pretty good. I have not had many games. In fact, I can't remember a game in this tank as top tier. And most of the games I seem to be bottom tier. That just occurred to me that I hardly ever remember firing tier 4 tanks. Damage, we got 70 seconds of stun. We actually got a little bit of stun damage in. 366 stun damage caused 9 tanks stun, which is a fair bit. So not bad on that respect. And the tank does earn reasonable credits as well. All in all, not a bad SPG. Thank you for watching my review of the Grille. Hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, please give it a thumbs up. If you'd like to see more, please subscribe to Reginaldesq. And have fun.